Hey, I wanted to tell you a story about two young men who came to my house a couple of weeks ago, and why one of them is bound to be successful, even though he's dyslexic, and the other one, not so much. So come on in, I'll tell you the story. So several months ago, we had this really bad hailstorm at my house, and we're gonna have to get a new roof, air conditioner, and some new windows on our house. So some workers showed up at our house to work on our house. And the first people to show up, heating and air conditioning. Two men showed up. One was the supervisor and had a lot of experience, and the other was a young man who was working under him and learning how to do this type of work. Now, I never met the younger guy who was the apprentice, but I met the supervisor. He came in to give us this nice new thermostat in our house, and while he was giving us this new thermostat, I was talking to him, and I told him that I teach kids that have dyslexia. And he was very interested in that, because he told me that the young man that was working with him was dyslexic. Evidently, when this guy had first started working for him, he had wondered if he could really work out, because he was kind of having a difficult time. He could not read the manuals or the instruction booklets, and he was having a really hard time remembering things like righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So finally the supervisor had asked, "Can you handle this job? What's going on? Can you do this?" And this apprentice had said, "Yes, I can do it. I just need a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra help because I'm dyslexic." And so now he was working with the guy, and he said, you know, he is going to be successful. He always shows up at work. He doesn't call in sick or late. He actually works while he's at work. He's not on his phone or goofing off or anything. And so he was willing to work with this guy and help him to learn. And even though it will take him a little extra time to learn, he knew that it would be worth it, because there's a lot of people out there today that he said he's had experience with training people and putting all kinds of time into training them, and then they don't even show up, or they just quit, and they're not good workers. So he said this guy, even though it'll take him longer to train him, he knows it will be worth it because of what a good worker he is. The next day, some people came up to replace some of our windows, like this window right here. And again, two men show up, one older that's like the supervisor, and one that's young, and he's learning. Well, the younger one comes in here where I do my reading lessons. And the older guy was getting out his tools and doing all that stuff, so there was nothing for the younger guy to do in here. After a while, I started to think, what's he doing in there? And so I came to look, and he was on his phone in here, not helping the older guy get any of his tools out, not doing anything like that. He was just on his phone. A while later, he goes into the bathroom. He doesn't ask if he can use my bathroom or anything, but he goes into the bathroom, and he's in there for a very long time. I was starting to wonder what was going on. And so this young man, he comes in looking like, kind of like a bum, his clothes were kind of dirty and with holes in the pants and stuff, and he wasn't very friendly or polite. He was spending time looking at his phone while he was on the job, and spending a lot of time in the bathroom, and then he also took another break where he was out in his truck for a long time. They did the job and they replaced the windows, but they didn't clean up any of the mess that is made by, construction makes dust and mess and stuff. They didn't clean it up. This young guy was in a hurry to leave and forgot some of the tools at my house, and the older guy had to get them for him. And just didn't make a very good impression. So after those two people had both visited my house, I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know what? Even though the first guy had dyslexia, he's much more likely to be successful. In today's economy, there are a lot of opportunities to be successful in the trades. I know that in the past, people have always acted like you have to go to college if you're going to be successful. But nowadays, there is a lot of opportunities in being a plumber, an electrician, the window replacer, the heating and air conditioning guy. Those jobs are very much in high demand right now, and you can be very successful in doing them. And so these guys have a great opportunity to be successful and to start working now when they're young. They don't have to have huge college bills, and they can be successful people. But I'm going to tell you the 7 reasons now why the young man that had dyslexia is much more likely to be a success. Here they are. Number 1, he was polite and friendly and personable with people. Number 2, he was neat and clean. He came to work wearing nice, neat, clean clothing. Of course, he doesn't have to dress up and wear a suit or anything. He's a heating and air conditioning guy, and he can wear jeans and a t-shirt or whatever, but they were neat and clean. And number 3, he's on time. He's on time to work. And number 4, he doesn't call in sick. I mean, he shows up every day and puts his work in. Number 5, he, while he's at work, he's at work. He doesn't spend time on the phone or taking extraordinarily long breaks in the bathroom looking at his phone or any of those types of things. He's actually working when he's at work. Number 6, he's willing to learn and he tries hard. He puts forth his best effort. And number 7, he doesn't hide the fact that he's dyslexic. He has learned to advocate for himself. He's learned to tell people, this is what I have, and this is what I need to help me be successful. And those are the 7 things that I believe are going to help you be successful as well.